Would you say like in 5 minutes or?
Yeah, it's probably when we're gonna start actually talking about
Awesome. You sound a bit soft.
it. I think that's just my mic. Can't really change the those kind of settings on my mic because I'm definitely not stuffed. Do I sound quiet? Do I sound loud?
Well, you on Discord sound really loud, but on the stream you sound really soft.
I'm soft? Okay, I'll turn myself up then. Wee. Alright, how's that? Beep,
That's good.
bop, boop, bitty bop. Okay. Yeah, I can't really tell with the videos if it sounds good, if it's gonna sound good on the stream or not.
Um,
Is that Panda?
yeah,
Oh no, it's not. He's still complaining though.
he,
He
Um,
was anyway.
when isn't Panda complaining?
Never.
Alright.
Doesn't show that you have any viewers. What's going on?
No idea. Maybe it's just everyone's like, you guys are always here, so you don't count.
It says 0 are watching now.
Yeah.
yeah, I like how it looks.
You like how I enlarged it to make the Earth match? See how the curve actually kind of does a pretty decent job of matching.
It's supposed to, yeah.
I know I had to
Supposed
I had to crank it way up. I think it's like at 300%.
What?
If you look at the image, the background image from behind the frame matches everything else. I had to make it very large in the browser to make it match.
No.
Hey, we got a viewer show up.
Well, that could be.
I
I
know.
mean, I have it open. It's probably me.
It's just Ivan.
No, there's 4 now, so it's
Oh,
Ivan.
Panda.
Yeah, you're right. Probably Panda.
pandemic.
And then 0 probably has it open.
Yep.
So
You
we're gonna be
ready to
talking to
start?
ourselves. Yeah, I'm ready to start.
There's 5 people. Potentially, it's. Well, I mean, you probably have it open too, don't you?
I don't because it screws with
Oh,
things.
so we have 1 real viewer.
Well,
All right.
anyways,
Yeah.
how about we get started? This is going to be podcast 16 with the Grandshelt Knights. It's our podcast. We're going to be talking about Ignacio's story. So let's start with the units. And
Hey, yeah. There's gonna be a theme with all the non 5-star bases on this banner. They're all gonna suck.
there's only one unit that I would say has a good point, but that good point is Arena, and it's because the LB is stupid.
Anyway, we'll start with the 3-star Wayham. He's a 3 to 5-star unit. His TM is really the only thing to talk about. It's called Brush Up. It increases attack by 20% and increases LB damage by 10%. This TM I think is okay.
It's
It's
not really that good though, I think.
it's okay in the fact that if you are at cap like if you're at the attack cap and you are using somebody that uses LB quite often,
Like Keo, for
this
example.
this isn't a terrible one to pick. So like, if you can get to the attack cap or close to the attack cap, and with the 20% attack, 10% LB damage is not bad.
So if you were looking to use a character like this, just look into Chloe instead. She's a much better version of this character.
Well,
Much
yeah, she's
better
also
version.
4-star.
Well, yeah, but still, like everything he has in his kit, the only thing that he has that's unique is his LB, which is a 200% attack buff for one ally and inflict berserk. So if you're weird like me who uses Demon Rain a lot, then maybe that's useful, but it's
That's still not that good. He's
I,
he's not that good.
I know. I'm just saying it's a weird technique you could do, but other than that, I mean, he's got 30% machine killer, and it's not even combined. And then he does have separated barriers, which could be useful. The mitigations, but again, it's only 15%, so it's kind of a drop in the bucket.
There's also there's one thing to keep in mind about that unit Wayhem as well, that there's another unit on the way that's going to be another 4-star unit. This is around probably after, um, I believe it was when in JP it was after the Final Fantasy VII
It's
with
Crimson's banner. You're talking with the one that
what,
gives you the
oh
squalls
yeah,
like
yeah,
STMR.
yeah. There's Crimson's banner,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, again,
That's a way better investment. If you wanted to farm this up and get something that's a lot better, you maybe want to wait on that one. Just saying, you know.
the reason why I think that's still good is because nothing stacks in global. So you're not going to be able to stack a whole bunch of that 4-star units TM, or you can't stack squalls STMR and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So again, it still might have some uses. It's not amazing, but it's fine.
Okay.
All right,
So
so on to the next one, which is
yeah,
PNK2. Another
what
unit that
happened
is
to P?
what?
Garbage. So I was
Yeah.
gonna say, what happened to PNK1?
Oh, if it's worse than this, then that's pretty sad. Um, the TMR is fine. It's similar
Yeah,
to one you can get through doing trials, except this
yeah,
one
the Omega
contains
charm or
one
whatever.
LB crystal per turn. If this was a banner where like you could get free TMRs like a raid, then I'd be like, okay, that's fine. But to me, this isn't really worth farming because
No.
again, you can get one without the one LB crystal, or you could just find better ones, something with a better bonus to it.
Yep, like Kurosami's TMR is better.
Well,
I mean, again, it's unless you're using. I mean, even for a hybrid, it's okay for a hybrid, but you're not gonna. I mean, there's a lot of better options for a physical attacker, and there's better options for a magic attacker too. So there's
yeah,
some free options for a magic attacker that are way better.
again, and also, how many hybrid units do you know that you build LB for?
Like none, but again, if you're looking, I mean, if you're using it on a hybrid, you're not really looking for the Elder Crystal. That doesn't
Well,
matter.
I mean, if you're building it for hybrid, the only one I could think of off the top of my head that would be really nice to have would be Aurora for Ivia, which most people don't have anyways, and that's because it gives her triple cast. But then again, I mean, other than
Yeah,
that, this unit he has a 50% break, which is, I'm sorry, it's only defense and
bad.
spirit. I mean, it's fine for a 4-star, but it's only defense and spirit, and that's it. He has a bunch of, I mean, he can inflict a bunch of status ailments, but if you're using any boss battle, I mean, they're gonna be resistant to it like 99% of the time. And his LB, I mean, the only special thing about it is it inflicts stop, but it's only 30%, so
Yeah, it's not. He's not that good.
he's not good.
Nope.
So let's pass on to the next 4-star, Suzume.
I
Suzume
mean,
is this is the
better.
best unit on the
Still
banner in
not
my
good.
opinion. He has a
Yeah.
TMR that is similar to Hio, except it uses Katana. It's a little bit weaker because it's 20% to Katana instead of 30% Greatsword, and it's got 7 less attack than Hio's.
Yeah, but again, it's a 4-star versus 5-star TM. So
And it's
again,
Katana, so if you're using a
yeah,
character using katanas, like if you got yourself a
it's
CG Laswell, that's a freaking great TMR for him.
yep. And
Um,
Axstar in the future, it's a really good TM for him.
because of the fact that
So
it's got both attack and the percentage on top of it, it's going to be hard for a straight physical to beat it unless you're building true double hand. Then sometimes it can
yeah, but
get
even true
bypassed.
double hand units, it's gonna be. You would need to have. I mean, Lunith's clothes might beat it out.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's easy to beat out. I'm saying that's when you'll start running into the issue where it might get beaten out. But
Yeah.
anyways, the reason why I consider this unit not entirely garbage is because
They'll be
yeah, ignore all this stuff because it's all garbage. I mean, who cares about Barrage anymore? That's like, oh my god, that was like how old?
2 years ago.
Yeah, like 2 years ago. He does have negate 5 physical damage, which fine, but it's only one turn, so who cares? But right here, this is why he's good. This right here, you cannot disable LBs in arena, and if you max this thing out at 6-star, it's 89%.
Yeah, but my only thing is, why would you want to max out this guy for an LB?
Hey, arena. People
It's
do
a
it with
waste.
people do it
I
with
know.
what's her face all the time, Vanille, and Vanille is 65%.
Yeah, I know. It's just stupid. I don't know.
And I'm sorry, but 6 stars are easy to get the LB up.
No, I know.
And even if you
It's
don't
only
max
20
it,
crystals.
yeah, and even if you don't max it, like to the max height, 65%
65.
is still really good at rank 0, and it's very easy to get to like what 10 out of 20. Yeah, it's easy to get 10 out of 20, which will put it in between that. So it'll
Oh,
put it
you'll
around.
get them. I mean, you won't have that much of a problem getting her to 20 in the arena. I mean, again, like I said earlier, I mean, you could
Well, no,
have an
I'm
LB of 50,
I'm
and it wouldn't
talking
matter.
I'm talking ranking up the LB. If you wanted to
Oh,
put LB
yeah,
pots into them, you only need to get to like rank 10 to get it to the good territory because it'll put it around
75%.
75%. Yeah, so it's really good. But again, that's just for arena. Death is
Yeah,
not very good outside of arena, so
it's a nice gimmick.
It's useless outside of arena, pretty much.
yeah, I know. So let's go to the big daddy of this banner, which is Ignacio. Ignacio.
Yay! Finally, something that's not total garbage.
A lot of people shit on Ignacio though, which I don't
Yeah, they
understand.
do. I don't understand either. I think he's really good. Anyway, he is a finisher slash support slash debuffer in a way. So his TMR is Heroes Vow Fire, increase attack 30% when equipped with an axe, and increase equipment attack by 50% when single wielding, while also increasing his LB gauge fill rate by 50%. That's a very good TMR.
If you
Yep.
ever use axes.
Even if you don't use axes, that's still good.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's basically 50% true double hand with LB fill rate.
So, and then his STMR is Ignition Axe. It's 170 attack, fire element, two-handed axe.
I mean, the only
And
thing that's kind of sad about this is the damage range is kind of it's very
Good?
immediate. Well, it's only 110% to 190%, so you're gonna be averaging about
I mean,
140, 145.
yeah, but it's still
That-
the high end is way higher than any other weapon. It's just
That's
the low
true.
end's a little
Yeah, the low end's a little
lower.
low.
But I mean,
I should be used to this because I have been using fixed dice for a while, so.
yeah, I mean, again, it's high. It's low is still higher than a regular weapon. That's not two-handed.
True.
And its high is way higher than any of the other weapons we have. It's really good. On the other hand, this unit does a lot of stuff.
If you try to organize this unit, you'll be kind of confused for the most part.
Overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does have a pattern that's really nice to do, especially depending on your teammates that you bring. I think the biggest benefit to this unit is the ability to give your teammates with 100% chance, two of them when he's 7-star, fire element, which is his forge, fire weapon blast. The buff
Yep.
is a nice to have, but it's only 120%, so it's not amazing. Oh no, that's the wrong one. Sorry.
You're talking about his forge ability, which basically
Yeah,
adds
his
fire.
weapon flame. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Weapon
Mhm.
flame. You
Yeah,
can do it
and
to
he can
one
add-
ally.
Yeah.
and you can do it twice. And you actually can do it up to 3 times if you have his TMR equipped.
Yeah.
At 7-star, but at 7-star you can do it twice on the fly, which means you can. And if you have his STMR, that means you have 3 people with fire weapons at all times.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Because it
And even
lasts for 3 turns.
if you're using him and you don't have his STMR, your best bet is the engine axe, which is fire element.
Mm-hmm.
But again, he can add fire to your attacks while also giving your team buffs at the same time. He can increase your fire resistance by 100%. He can increase right now. He can increase your attack, magic, or your defense and spirit by 120, which isn't super amazing. But when he gets his enhancements, that goes up to 180, and it ends up being bananas. So he is right now. I'm gonna say he's good. But when he gets his enhancements, he's great. So
Yep.
and this is
180
honestly,
buffs.
yeah, and this is honestly your best chance to get him. So if you have the lapis to do the step up, it's not a bad idea.
But yeah, so his hindrances, in my opinion, is the fact that he only comes with 100% true double hand. A lot of the units we've been getting lately are 150, even 200 with their TMRs. His TMR is 100. With his TMR, it's 150. So it's not
I
terrible.
think that's okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
I mean, units like Hyo had 100 too, so people didn't really think that was a problem.
I thought it was annoying. But yeah.
I guess what would be the problem here is the fact that his equipment attack, he gets all his true double hands on his TMR ability, which is kind of weird.
Yep. But his which means, I mean, it doesn't hurt him at all because it's either giving him 50% true double hand or
his TMR ability for him is best in slot probably.
if you're using axes, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because he technically doesn't need to because he's got like every weapon he can use.
The biggest problem is you're pretty much gonna use axes with him because with his TMR on, he gets 80% attack with axes because he's got axe mastery at 50% and the 30% from his TMR.
Yeah.
And if you can stack his TMR, that'd be stupid, but I don't think you can.
I don't think you can either.
Knowing Gumi,
I don't think
I highly doubt it. It didn't say on the wiki.
It doesn't have the one. It doesn't have the one, but again, nothing stacks in global, so don't expect it to stack.
Yeah, that's what I was hinting at. He can get his LB basically instantly if he wants to because, after turn 2, because he can increase LB gauge by 10 to a caster.
Yeah.
And with his LB fill rate naturally in him, I think he can pretty much get it on that turn. Because he's got 100% LB fill rate.
He can also give LB to everybody too, and LB fill rate.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy what he can do.
He's kind of like a mini Nicole with finishing capabilities. And instead of being water, it's fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the thing is, what makes him particularly good and useful is if you bring in Ignacio, he's filling 2 roles for your team. He's filling that role of a buffer and filling that role as the finisher. Because he's going to do good damage. And, I mean, he's not going to be like the best finisher in the world. Because Ong with his killers is probably better than him as a finisher. But the thing is, Ong doesn't do anything else but damage. And that's kind of the problem with a lot of finishers is they're hard to throw into a team because at the end of the day, you're sitting there like, well, do I want to bring a buffer? Do I want to bring a finisher? Or do I need to bring a second tank? And if that's and if you can bring a unit that does 2 of those roles, that's a very good way to get him into your party.
Get a finisher into the party, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
His biggest finishing move is his LB, which is basically a I'm gonna be
Sort of.
lazy. It's a 16 times modifier with a 3.45 modifier on top of it for everyone
Hmm.
on the thing. I don't know if that also hits
That
the
it's
single
a
target.
it's well, it's basically it works like the backloaded ability for like
Heo and
Heo.
stuff like that. Yeah. No, I understand.
It's divine ruination chains. So the only problem is it's only 7 hits. It should be 14, but it's only 7.
Well, another thing is I'm looking at it. It says 1 and 6, so I'm not positive if the physical hit, the fire physical damage, the single target is the one hit, or if the AOE and the AOE is the multiple hits, or the other way around. Because it would be the opposite of Heo in that
Yeah,
case.
that's true. That's kind of weird. I
But
don't know, but
it's been
I
a while
mean,
since
he
I've
is,
used them since I
in my opinion,
quit
he's very
playing
good.
JP. Yeah, I used
Yeah.
him in
His
JP. He did fit two roles fairly well. But I mean, his biggest drawback is the fact that as a as a support unit, he has no ability to give MP back to the team.
Yeah, but and also a drawback for his support ability right now is it's not super amazing.
Well, I know it's not super amazing, but even if it
It's
was super amazing, a lot of people use support for MP regen and stuff like that, not buffs.
Yeah, but there are plenty of healers that can do that now.
I will say that one of his drawbacks I see at the moment, especially in global, is as being a support unit, not and him especially being a unit that has a provoke. There's no mitigation for
Eh,
him or the team.
you're not. You're probably not ever going to use that, really.
I know, but I'm just saying, if it's something in his kit, it's something that maybe you might want to use, or if you can use it or find a way to use it, he doesn't give any mitigation. Like, let's say Zargaboth, who gives it
But
to the team,
in all
or
honest, well, yeah. I mean, in all honesty, though, if you were going to use him as a finisher, you might do that attack for the 250% attack buff if you've got a physical AoE cover,
Mhm.
because the AoE cover is going to cover that, even if he's
Provoking
getting
it.
attacked.
Yeah, I thought it
So
was
that
kind of weird that he was provoking it. I was thinking that if he was provoking that, he was gonna have a counter that would give like 100% like fire imperil or whatever, but he's only got a 75%, which is also
yeah,
a
I believe that gets
disappointment.
buffed too, though.
It
I
does
believe
with
that gets buffed.
enhancements. Yeah, it does with enhancements. But right now,
Yeah,
like his original form, the Fire Veritas, when he
at
got
100%.
hit, he had a chance of countering with 100% fire imperil. So I thought
Yeah,
they would stick with that, but they didn't, because they did stick with that with Citra, and did they stick with that with Volca? No, wait, they didn't stick with that with Volca.
and also keep in mind that the his provoke isn't that bad because he is kind of beefy for an attacker.
Yep,
So
his defense stats are very high. I mean, well, not extraordinarily
uh,
high, but they're
they're very high for a
for a
damage
damage
dealer.
dealer. Yes, that's what I mean. All right.
So
So how about we talk about the new event, which is the
his story
his
event.
story event.
Um, again, story event. There's no reason not to do it. Lots of rewards. Lapis. Uh, the items in this event. His Ignacio's helmet is extremely good. Because it's a high attack helmet that gives fire resistance. And
We don't have any high
fire.
attack helmets unless it's a TMR for like Dragon Cane or something
Well,
like that.
I mean, even anything that has resistances on it is usually at worst usable, because we're going to get to a point where you're going to need to have resistances on your attacking units rather than just like your magic tank or your healer or whatever. You're going to need you're going to need elemental resistance on everybody, and any resistance gear is good.
Mhm.
So, I mean, and even taking away from your attack to get resistance gear is also going to be a good option. That's why his helmet is so good, is because it gives you a good amount of attack, while also giving you the fire resistance.
Yep.
The other item isn't good. It's bad.
I want to trigger Kuja here, but I'm gonna pass this time.
It's not even good for that unit, dude. It's not even good. It's not good for
I
anybody.
know it's not good for any unit. I always bring it up because it always triggers you because you have that love hate relationship, as in like you love to hate it.
Well, that unit is absolutely garbage. There's no redeeming
Eh.
What are
qualities
you
on
talking
that
about?
unit.
Baihu is garbage? No.
I am definitely not a fan of Baihu, and
I'll agree with
you
that.
know exactly who I'm talking about.
I'll agree with that. Oh, you're talking about Chin.
No, I'm
No,
not talking about
Baihu and
Jean. I'm
Zuko.
talking about Zero's girlfriend, Leela. Anyway,
Yeah. Anyways.
this Ignacio step up is good. It's your best chance to get him. If you want Ignacio, go for it. If not, don't pull, I guess. Also, this banner, the regular summon banner has Moogles. This is not a bad banner to throw 4-star tickets at because, again, Suzume's TMR is extremely good, and it's pretty much best in slot for any katana user. So,
Um.
and well, at the same time, pulling on this banner, any 4-star or above ticket you use is going to give you a 5% or 10% Moogle.
Yeah,
So,
I don't really care about that anymore. With all the 7 stars I've been able to awaken because of the money. I don't need.
yeah, I mean, but again, it's a good way to get Moogles, and
Yeah, if you're needy Moogles though, it is a fantastic way. It's how I used to do it.
plus it's all. I mean, your chance of using a 4-star ticket if you get a rainbow, it's highly likely it'll be Ignacio.
Yeah.
Yep.
All
So
right. So
so going on real quick, let's go to the last week's banner, which had an update this week. We've got the Lord of the Beasts. Rah,
Piggy.
the piggy.
yeah. And to celebrate the year of the beast, of the year of the boar, they have a very not I wouldn't say it's a simple fight. Once you have the gear, it should be fairly simple in that and the kind of units to go with. The main caveat or the main trick about this event is simply one that you cannot bring units that counter this enemy because even a counter can trigger its devastating moves, which can either drain your MP or if you provoke it a second time, kill you entirely. Right?
Six
So the best
damage.
way, yeah. So the best way to go around like fighting this enemy is really straightforward. It has a very low spirit, so you want to doing dealing magic damage, and that includes Lila or Baihu, um, who do spirit-based damage. And you can also take. Just be sure that they don't have a chance to counter. In other words, if they counter with physical, then maybe you should carry a tank to counter that physical, so they don't trigger their counter moves, right? And the second thing that you need to know is this enemy will also do a lot of fire and light attacks, magic attacks. So if you have resistance at 100, you should have basically no problem with any magic actually, because it's only single target move. It's a light attack, so nobody basically will get hit. You don't have to carry a provoker in this case because of that, right? And one other thing to note is that it does some stop, paralyze, and I think
Confuse.
confusion, right? So you want somebody to cover those resistances. And stop is pretty easy to get by now, especially that we have 3-star
Foka.
Lakshmi.
Oh, and Foka.
Lakshmi. Yeah, if you don't have Volca, then Lakshmi or a lot of different places.
Or Ayaka can cure stuff, and
Well, the
Yeah.
other thing is it's single target and it's 2 turns. So if anything, you can have a provoke tank just eat it.
Yeah.
yep,
Right. The enemy doesn't have any resistances to any elements. You can only break attack and magic, but its attack and magic aren't that strong. So even when you do have even if a 6-star tank can handle it, and um,
it's not
once it
even a melee.
reaches once it
Yeah.
reaches 50%, it will have a hard lock that is going to make it basically trigger this counter move. So you basically look out for saying when it's going to counter attack, and don't counter it even. Don't breathe on it. Don't do anything on it. Just wait a moment, a turn, and then you can just pound it down, and that's it. The rewards are really easy to get because all you have to do is just summon 2 espers, and that's it.
Well, that
Right?
and
There's
don't
no.
use an LB or use items.
Oh yeah, well, those are easy to get by.
Well,
Right?
the only one
Not
I
a,
would say is LBs are easy to forget because it's LBs are awesome. I like LBs, but the no items, if they screw up and accidentally attack during the counter attack, they'll probably use items to restore their MP.
Oh yeah, that's a good
So
thing to remember.
as long as you don't
What?
provoke the counter, you should be fine with the no items. The no LBs, you'll just have to remember not to do it. So either pick
Yep.
characters you don't like their LBs, or just make a mental note. Um,
Yep.
but yeah, the best thing about this one is probably the Dragon's Destiny, which it's been a while since we've got an item that's just really fantastic. And it's mainly
yep.
fantastic because it's so unique. You look at it and go, oh, it's a staff with 88 spirit. We've got better. But the thing that's nice is the additional effect is it's got evasion. It's
Mhm.
hard to find evasion items. So right now, in game, there's 2 types other than this one of evasion items. There's daggers and there's one katana.
Yep.
Yep.
And a lot of tanks can't use katanas, so it's really nice to have the ability to be able to tank magic and get some evasion from it. Put this on
It's
like
also nice that this is, I think, the highest spirit staff, free spirit staff that I think we've ever been rewarded as well. So it's not bad.
no, no, it's not. We got a 98.
We did?
Yep,
Well, I mean,
it looks like a
again,
book, but it's still
with
yeah.
Oh
with
yeah. The
with
dark one.
these weapons, the thing with evasion, what you're gonna need on anything on a unit that you're gonna have up at 100% evasion is spirit to take any magic hits or HP.
Yep.
And that's why this is so good because it gives you a ton of spirit on a
It
unit that's
pairs very well with that that other material we got, Transcendent Soul.
yeah,
That it pairs extremely well with that.
and that's the best dodge material.
Yep.
It's not even close.
We do have a dodge material that's 15%, which is
Yeah,
extremely nice
again,
because 15%.
Yeah, but the spirit is still, I think, better than that extra 5%.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely go for that staff. That is just too good of a staff to pass.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about what's coming up soon, and if it's anything that we need to look forward to, like if we should be saving our lapis for it or not.
Well, I guess the one thing would be, do you pull for Ignacio or pull for Sid? Because Sid's going to
My
be the next CG unit, which will be next month.
my my money's on Sid, honestly.
Yeah,
And
Sid's
I'm
going to be
lacking.
a
I'm just
lot
lacking
more
a
damage.
strong. Yeah, I'm lacking a strong finisher.
so why would you consider Sid better than Ignacio? Is probably the best question I could give. What is Sid's
Right.
benefits that make him?
Because okay, Sid. Because I used him in JP, and I would say, um, I'm basically. I like the fact that he does other things as well. So he's not just a dragoon, but he breaks when he jumps. So he can break for himself. He doesn't need anybody to break for him. Or he can imperil the enemy for himself. So as he jumps up. So he does have some utility with his dragoon skills, which is unlike all the other dragoons, or most of them. I would say that he is very versatile to use. You know,
All right.
that's
So, do you remember what the percentages were on Sid, or would we have to look that up
no, I
later?
can't remember. Yeah, I'll have to look it up. But I remember he was easier to fit in than most other finishers, right? And I'm pretty sure the damage, based on what I recall,
I
is
mean, his modifiers are stupid. That's why he's. I mean, he does a lot more damage than
Ignacio.
Ignacio does.
yeah,
My thing is, like, Ignacio does give you the buffs. Again, Ignacio is way better when he gets his enhancements.
So
yeah. But wouldn't that also be the same thing for Sid?
so
Sid
the
gets the
only
Yeah, but
thing that I would
the
say that Ignacio has over Sid is the ability to imbue his teammates. So, like in my case, I have a Cloud who's got a non-elemental weapon because it's stupid strong. If I had Ignacio, basically I'd just use fire on him constantly, or he would be right now Hio's best friend as well, because then you could use non-elemental weapons and get more damage out of them
yep.
by using the imbues.
Yeah, he is a very good supportive unit. I won't
S-
Mhm.
disagree
So I would
at all.
say in that case, I do see Ignacio being very good and useful. Sid is more damage. I don't remember his breaks, so I can't say if those are worthwhile or if it's better just to stick with your own breaker, but still, having even a slight edge is nice to have, and I think that's what Ignacio
Yeah.
has is to most finishers is his ability to support well. Not great, but well.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, and Sid is really good. He's gonna give you higher damage output, but Ignacio's gonna give you a little bit more support ability, in my opinion. I'm probably gonna pull for Sid 2 rather than Ignacio, only because Chinese New Year just happened, and
It bled you
yeah,
dry.
yeah,
Thanks to me.
yeah, it's your fault.
It is my
Yeah,
fault. Hey,
well,
you got your chow though, so you can't complain.
it is
Yeah, I
the
did.
time. It is the limited time of the month. So
I mean, limited time of the year. When are we going to not have limited banners? Jeez,
Yeah.
my wallet hurts.
Well, I think limited banners are gonna be like a once a month thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
they're.
don't think. I mean, we're gonna have a limited banner in March. It's gonna happen.
I don't know. I think they might push it back. They've been
It's
get.
not. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna be Xenogears. I think it'll be a Secret of Mana.
Well, I'm not saying it's going to be Xenogears. I'm saying they might push it back because people have been complaining about the limited banners, and I think they might just push more standard content to try to make it not feel like they're doing limited banners
Yeah.
consistently because that's what it's felt like lately. Because literally,
Well,
Star
yeah, but that's
Ocean.
because of the holidays.
Well,
Holidays screwed everything up.
even with just the holidays, it does feel like we've been beaten down with limited banners. So I understand where people are coming from. I'm just saying because that I think they might push the next limited banners off to next month, but that's my opinion. So
Well, I mean, I don't think we'll get anything in February.
Guys, we have Katy Perry to get still.
Katy Perry is not limited. She's gonna be around forever. It's pretty clear. I
She
mean,
has become such a
how long
joke.
has that been up? Like 2 months now?
I think longer than that, hasn't it? Since the Fan Festa, which was like the end of
That
the
was
beginning of
December. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's been definitely been 2 months for sure.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah.
well, anyways, I think we've pretty much covered most of the topics for this week. Join us next week around the same time, about 8:30 Pacific time. What is it Eastern? 11:30 Eastern.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So you guys have a good night.
Thank you for joining us.
Have a great night.
Night.